Blended Learning Course Redesigned, Flipping the Classroom by Patrick Wilson. This is my proposal to promote the effective integration of asynchronous media with synchronous face-to-face learning within grade 8 science units, not one particular unit, but in all of the units. A little background: I work in a traditional learning center. The students have a strong work ethic and are high performing. They have access to the internet from home, and most have personal electronic devices which also have access to the internet. We have resources within the school, 2 computer labs, and also laptops for one full class. Our school extensively uses the Desire to Learn learning management system. Most of the students have some understanding and use of the components. The higher you go up in the grades, the more exposure they have had to the components within the D2L environment. Another thing is the increased knowledge and integration of D2L is supported by the CBE. So that is the reason that I'm using that learning management system, as it is a highly supported area within the CBE. Rationale, the why. Well, the 2 first bullets here are directly from the program of studies from Alberta Education to encourage students to develop a critical sense of wonder and curiosity. Oops, sorry, I'm going to go to last. To enable students to use science and technology to acquire new knowledge and solve problems. Exploit the advantages of technological innovations in media and digital animation to support student learning of scientific concepts. One thing that I've learned over time from my experiences as a teacher is there are many new animations and computer generated animations that show scientific concepts in a manner that text and speech cannot convey. So there are an incredible amount of sophisticated concepts that can be shown more readily and easily through digital animation, especially in science. Also, the LMS D2L is to maintain organization and structure within the course, and to facilitate the implementation of many components of the course, such as communication with each other, assignment uploads, etc. Another rationale behind the course is a transition away from the teacher-centered sage on the stage to a more self-directed learning environment for the student. The teacher will be more of a facilitator, and it basically more of a focus on personalization of learning, where the student is more in control of what they do and how they do it within the class environment and outside. Increase interaction and personalization, contact time between students and teachers. I believe that by doing lectures outside of the class on screencasts, it will increase the exposure of students to the teacher for problem solving and to increase critical thinking. They will have more of a chance to get deeper into the curriculum with support of the teacher within the face-to-face environment. Content is permanently archived, so it is great for remediation, for students to review, even skip if they don't feel they need it. They already understand the concept. Also, our school has many students go away for a month or sometimes even 2 months, and during these absences, this would be an incredible way in which they can review and keep up in the class. Also, one of the main focuses within and is a part of the curriculum is to maintain and to develop digital literacies within the students, and that is a part of the ICT outcomes, which would be integrated into this class while using D2L. Theoretical framework. Community of inquiry, surprise. I do believe it is. I didn't buy into it right away, but I feel a little more understanding of it and a little bit more in tune with some of the main parts of this. The cognitive presence had me iffy, but I'm on the game now. Social presence, to promote chance taking and developing collaborative relationships with peers. This is something that is a significant cultural factor. Many of the girls are Asian and East Indian, and they're very quiet. I believe that promoting a chance taking and having the ability to be in an asynchronous environment where the students can actually talk, or at least have communicate in discussions, etc., but don't have to take the big leap as they would in front of the class. I believe that it's important to promote humor and teamwork to achieve the goals, and I really think that at the beginning too of the year, in order to promote social presence, there has to be a little bit of humor involved. Enhance social interactions in face-to-face environments to support and strengthen online relationships. They should be synergetic. One supports and strengthens the other. It was mentioned in some of our readings that social interaction is more efficient and it seems to create stronger links in the face-to-face environment, but with added support within the asynchronous online environment, it should create even more strength. Also, something that I think is really important, especially with our demographic of students, is it needs to be non-threatening and positive interactions, especially at the beginning of the course, to develop a community of inquiry. Cognitive presence. Adaptable and unpredictable exploration and learning. Basically more of an inquiry base where students will be taking chances and going down paths they might not necessarily have planned on taking. It might make me feel a little comfortable because it might be a little unstructured and laissez-faire, but I think the end result is stronger, deeper understanding of the curriculum. Inquiry is not a set path, but a general direction with many unintended yet important learning outcomes. I thought that was a really important thing. It doesn't necessarily have to relate to curriculum to be important. Promotes the pull of information and not the push of rote facts. Reiterated throughout our readings, and I think in some of the other classes I've taken. Google has the facts. Students are the connectors of ideas and formulators of hypotheses. Students can get all the information they want from the internet. It's a case of how do you analyze that information and take the important parts and bring them into your understanding and develop some type of a hypothesis about what you see and what's happening. Is inherently reflective, and this is where the use of the ePortfolio and D2L becomes very important. Teaching presence. TLC is direct instruction. My direct instruction is going to go outside the face-to-face, and it's going to be in the form of screencasts, such as the one I'm doing right now using Camtasia. My administration, I requested them to purchase the new Camtasia and product, and I'm using it right now, the brand new one, and it's got a lot of changes to it, but it seems really cool. I've also gone into, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little off, but I've gone into screencast.com, which is a part of the company that makes that, where I can actually upload all of my screencasts. Teachers become, I'll go back. Screencasts, videos congruent with flipped classroom pedagogical approach. Essentially, that's what I'm following. Teacher becomes more of a facilitator, and face-to-face time emphasizes support of and interaction with students in topic areas of most difficulty for each individual, thereby being more personalized. Presence will be very important in online discussions to facilitate discourse. Something that I read often was reiterated by Garrison and Vaughan. Essentially, there needs to be some facilitation without taking over the discussion. Maintain structure that is often needed when transforming into a blended environment. I'm reiterating the positive and supportive. The other thing there too is the transformation is not going to be that easy. There's going to be some things that need to be scaffolded for the students. Design model will be the supplemental model. Essentially, I'm going to be supplementing my class heavily with screencasts and asynchronous lecturing, quote unquote, and I will be supplementing with many other online activities that they will do. As I said before, the flipped classroom approach will be adding out-of-class online technology-based activities to enhance and or diversify literacies to facilitate student learning. I'm back to that point about scientific concepts that can be shown in digital animations, like the synthesis of RNA or the process of diffusion, are much easier shown using animations or video than they are actually just explaining it verbally. Classroom face-to-face time will focus on problem solving, common misconceptions, and or scaffolding areas of confusion. Essentially, it's going to be like a tutorial, or at least that's what I hope it will be like. Small groups working collaboratively and asking the teacher when they run into a problem or a concern to come and help reassess what the ways in which they're understanding the concept. Emphasis will hopefully transform over time to facilitating discourse during face-to-face towards critical thinking and deeper understanding of the subject areas. This is the direction I would like to go. Course design. I divided mine up like Ryan. I looked at Ryan's when he first posted his. He was one of the first people to post, and I divided mine up the same way he did because he is a smart guy. So, course objectives. Well, simply meet the needs of diverse learners through personalization of learning. Teach digital literacies for the 21st century learner. Promote and support a community of inquiry. Something that I have become much more in tune with in this course. Teach the curriculum as outlined in the program of studies. That's our job. Develop and or link digital media within the asynchronous components of the course, which are relevant and congruent with the synchronous component. It was written in our readings that a number of times that one must maintain congruence. If what you are talking about face to face is not similar to what you're doing in the online environment, well, you're being counterproductive. You're not reinforcing facts, you're just leading people to think that why bother watching this if it has no relevance. Course structure. All components of the asynchronous portion of the course will be organized and assessed via the LMS Desire to Learn, just in the same manner that Norm is doing with our class. The use of personal electronic devices will be promoted, very much so. The use of school computers during face-to-face for access to components of a course. Sometimes it's hard to get them, but if you're organized, you can. Use of Smartboard during face-to-face group discussions and direct instruction. Smartboard is a great tool for showing videos and essentially for showing any online or digital content. The Smartboard is a fantastic way to show it, and it will essentially support everything that I do within the face-to-face environment by having essentially D2L in front of me. Course activities, they will be organized. The organization of the course asynchronous learning will be, as I said, the flipped classroom approach. Emphasis on lectures or direct instructions to be done outside of traditional classroom setting. That's flipped. Face-to-face time emphasizes support for particular areas. As I've said, emphasis on collaboration and critical thinking. Checklist tool. Right now I'm going to go through a number of the different tools that there are within the D2L environment. This is the main one where you can organize all of your things you would like, components or activities, tasks you'd like the students to do. They do it within the checklist tool. You can make checklists which basically you have to complete a certain number of things before you open up other tasks to do. You can regulate things right down to a T. It's a very effective means of assessing student achievement and completion of tasks in the course too. The discussion tool, as we have very similar to the one that we have in our class. I believe I really enjoyed the way Norm made us do a group mediation of specific threads and make a summary. I would like my students to do that, but it would be on specific topics. So each group would be assigned a topic, and then they would make a summary that highlights the key terms that are important for that topic curricularly. I would also like to have an area of social interaction to hopefully promote a little more of a social presence within the course. At the onset, we'll look at a number of different posts. They'll be anonymous. I'm not going to pick on anybody, and we'll assess why one is good, one is okay, and one is lacking. What are important parts of a post, and why are those important? Of course, it will be made up. There will be marks for the discussion, for how you discuss within the discussion tool during the term. The quiz tool I'm not going to use a lot. I think in our readings it said 10 to 20% should be the applicable mark for this. I'm going to use it intermittently, often, but not high marks. So 5 questions, but not not big quizzes, just small ones intermittently throughout. Our school, our students in TLC are very marks focused, and this will be appease those requiring numerical feedback. As I say, it's going to be short and sweet. Of course, this will go towards their mark. ePortfolio 2 is a repository of digital artifacts that the students make throughout their years in our school within the CBE. So the abilities they can make any artifact. It could be a form, it could be a Word document, it could be a photo that they edited, and then they can invite others to come and look at their artifact and reflect upon it. The teacher can make feedback forms and rubrics that can be used to formulate and focus reflection. So a student could say, well, what is your feedback on this? And it's a very reflective means of looking at students' work, digital work. One thing that's cool about it is you can also make larger presentations, which are groups of artifacts within this tool, and so you could make a presentation on whatever you want, and it can have as many different artifacts as you want, and it shows you, it develops, you have templates you can organize them in. It's a really cool way in which to show your learning. Survey tool, it's very similar to the quiz tool, but you can make it anonymous. I can invite parents and students to use the tool for course evaluation or to assess a certain activity or task. It's a very effective means of assessing students' confidence with the curriculum or areas that they feel have not been touched on or they had a difficult time with. Quick feedback, very important. Also, I think the increased student achievement and the satisfaction in the course, if I make changes and modifications quickly, it will promote social presence from the act of me actually responding quickly to their views and ideas. Course tasks, these are going to be the content, the guts, the activities, the tasks. So there's going to be, of course, teacher-made screencasts using Camtasia and the Smartboard Recorder. I'm going to be using lots and lots of resources from Core. How come I forget the name of it now? Anyway, it's a new amazing, huge repository of information and tasks, digital activities, etc. Merlot and other similar sites. The LORE, Learning Object Repository in D2L, has a lot of things. The thing is, I think most things in LORE have been put into Core. Sorry about that. LORE Core, yeah. And also, over the years, I've come to find many different websites that have an immense amount of information that you can make links to and do activities on. BrainPop. The textbooks for science books come with DVD support materials that you can use. YouTube is an incredible resource, as long as you find the right one. Kwai has little quizzes and activities. Learn Alberta, BBC Bitesize, and many other sites with curricular tasks. Last thing, student and parent feedback will be achieved through surveys and discussion threads. I think it's important to let parents have some straight feedback, especially, and students too. And I will make specific threads within the discussion tool that they can make some feedback and they can say how they feel about something. I could make it on a particular topic, or I could make it on a particular activity, or a general consensus on the course. How is this going? The surveys that I will make will be short and specific and focus on the assessment of the course for its efficacy in supporting learning and its ability to increase social presence within an online blended environment. The whole social presence thing, I think, is really integral. Oh, here I said that. I believe that a social presence precedes cognitive presence as it is determinant of successful collaboration and the ability of students to feel accepted when asking the critical, deeper questions. I often see in TLC the students want the quick answer, and they're scared or concerned about going deeper. This is what we really need to try and avoid in TLC, and I think in many classes throughout our system. Okay, thanks for listening.